Good afternoon and welcome to the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario for today's OCAA Women's Volleyball crossover playoff match between the Cite Coyotes and the St. Clair Saints. On We Digital Productions, Justin Pritz alongside Sean Leppard as we're moments away from the start of today's matchup. Should be an interesting playoff game to say the very least, Sean. First things first, we have Cite coming into today with a 7-11 regular season and looking to try and get a potential upset victory today in this crossover matchup.
Well, on paper, this thing is supposed to be done real quick, real fast. These girls are coming in the game, and we play these games out because we need to have a winner to move on to the next round. So you look at the Cite Coyote, they're 7-11. They've lost one. Nothing really to write home about on blocks, but they're a digging team. They're averaging 10%, and that's nothing to put down about at all.
They're led by Melissa Petre in terms of players to keep an eye on. Had 127 kills this season in the regular campaign, 7 assists, 85 digs, averaged 3 points per set.
That young lady there is going to carry this team, and if she's having a hot day and St. Clair College is having a bad day, that could tilt it in their favor.
For the St. Clair Saints, they entered the postseason winning 4 of the past 6 matchups in the regular season. However, they did drop their final matchup of the regular season to Hamburg. Your thoughts on St. Clair entering the postseason?
Well, this is exactly where they wanted to be. They worked really hard, and they got to this crossover, and they're going to be placing themselves into the quarterfinals, doing really well. They're 13-5. They just lost the last one to Humber last week, but their kills are 10 and assists at 9 and the blocks at 1.8. That's a very good-looking team going into the playoffs.
Selena Horst is the player to keep an eye on in just 8 matches. 96 kills, 75 digs. That is a lot of points and digs to her credit in just that short span.
Well, Shalana came in at the break, at the winter break, and now they've made a big difference. I mean, this is a really strong team. It's a different team that started this season to how they're ending, and everybody in the OCAA knows it.
Indeed, it becomes the question of who takes home this postseason matchup. We're just moments away from finding out. Stick around. You're watching We Digital Productions live from the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario.
Hey, Herman Moore here, Detroit Lions legend and 4-time Pro Bowl player. Hey, get your tickets and join me for the 15th Annual Westby Awards on Tuesday, March 10th at the Caboto Club.
The 15th Annual Westby Awards are brought to you in part by Unifor Local 444, Lucier Glove and Safety, Hotham Building Materials, AM 800 CKLW, and We Digital Productions.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario, as we get ready for today's playoff matchup. Straight to the lineups we go. Petre makes the start for the Cite Coyotes alongside Melanie Mayville. Also making the start will be Marie-Lou Charo alongside Mika Bollier, alongside Gabrielle Brazil, Sophie Leduc, and Angel Ricard for the Coyotes. For St. Clair College, it is Ali Kozak alongside Gianna Stephenson, alongside DeVlut, Quintanilla, Ellis, and Horst, the starting 5 for today's matchup. Justin Prince alongside Sean Leppard in the Monson Time Express broadcast booth as we're just about to get underway for today's matchup. Sean, this should be one that should be entertaining to watch to start the postseason for the Saints.
Well, first off, person serving on the back line for St. Clair College is going to be Kimberly Quintanilla, and she's celebrating her birthday this afternoon. She just turned 22, and she's going to start things off for us.
Absolutely. All ready to go. We're underway from the Rose City. Cite starts with a cross, straight to the block for the first quick points of the match.
Well, you can see Gellison setting up in the middle there, and she just puts her hands up, puts her elbows in the right position, and puts that ball down.
Quintanilla sets up for the second serve of the match. Received well by the Coyotes. Going for the cross, this time over the block. Dunked by Milling in the back row, scramble for the ball. First point up on the board for Cite.
St. Clair College would want to have that one back. Milling was in the right spot on defense, but she shanked it to the right. She just wants to pop that ball up a little bit easier so they can return that ball.
Player to the service line will be Bollier to start the service game for Cite. On the season, 46 aces. That is a team best. And starts with a service error.
Well, it'll make things a lot easier for St. Clair College if Cite keeps making mistakes like that.
And Cite on the season had 253 service errors. That was third in the OCAA coming into the postseason. Sinclair serves an error of their own, that time by Kozak. Back to the service line this time will be Mayville. Sinclair sets up with 4 different Saints in the middle. This time return well. Quintanilla sets up the swing. Big time dig by the Coyotes. Swing comes up the pipe, picked up by the Saints. Once again set up close to the net. Battle back across, milling to Quintanilla for the quick tap to the back. Coyotes set up once again for the cross. The swing too long. Sinclair gets the point. 3-2.
Well, that's going to end up shooting themselves in the foot. Cite, I mean, they playing good defense right now, but then when they go into their offense, they make that unforced error.
Gellison goes back to the service line after that one. And Gellison, too long, a service error ties things up at 3 in set 1.
St. Clair College might be trying to do a little too much here on the back line. They're trying to serve tough, but I don't think that's going to be a difference here against Cite.
This time a flat palm serve, tough one to receive. Cite sets up. The soft touch swing gets down for the point.
And that's what Cite has to do. They have to be creative. They don't have a lot of that offense, and they have a lot of unforced errors. But if they start shaking junk up like that, they'll score a lot of points.
Leduc that time on the swing. Brazil with the serve. Quintanilla gives it up for the strong spike for the point.
Right there, Kiyomi Ellis coming out of the middle. She is a big addition here to St. Clair College. You'll see her set it up. Pushed into the middle, Quintanilla forcing it, and she goes all the way to the 5 to score.
That will bring Horst to the service line. As we talked about it during the pregame, a stellar past 8 matchups. Good serve from the Saints. And miscommunication on the setup of the attack.
Well, Justin, you talked about it earlier in the game. You said this team leads the league in unforced errors, and they're showing for it right now.
Yeah, coming into the postseason, 324 errors. And a service error from St. Clair ties things up at 5.
I believe that's the 4th service error to St. Clair College.
That is a lot, to say the very least, to start the match. That time served by Petre. Free ball back across by the Saints. Setting up for the C ball. Milling getting the dig. Moved up back for the dive. Reset by the Coyotes back across. Laid this time Quintanilla for the swing. Way too long, no touch. Ellis on the swing.
Well, Horst was in the right spot on defense. It was just Kiyomi. She just didn't have the swing that she needed and put that ball long out the back door.
Petre with 40 aces on the last serve. The float off the top of 2 blockers. Move back for the pass. The swing with the right hand dug up by the Libero and Randall. Coming up the pipe, the swing picked up once again by the Coyotes. Into 2 blockers, diving play. Goes right back across for a still rally. Flags are flying for the antenna. Cite point.
Everybody kind of stood around and were wondering what happened. And Quintanilla went and dug that ball out. She did go around, and it looked like she was in the right position to get that ball.
That will keep the Coyotes at the service line. Petre. Too long service error. St. Clair breaks up the rally. That's going to bring DeBlue back to the service line.
Cite in it to win it here. They're battling.
21 aces in the regular season for DeBlue. Sets up right center of the Saints side of the court. Received well by the Libero, bouncing all the way back. Played that time by Ellis for St. Clair. C-ball clips the top of the tape and down for the point.
As long as Cite doesn't make those unforced errors, St. Clair College seems to be out of sorts right now. And Kiyomi Ellis has made 3 errors back-to-back. She should never reach back there. She's got to trust her defense.
This time it's going to be Leduc to the service line. And a reception error this time off of Kozak.
Justin, we might see a timeout coming very soon from Coach El Turk. Cite up by 3, and that's not what you want to see happening here in the playdown.
Indeed. This time played well by Kozak. Quintanilla sets up Ellis for the soft touch for the point.
Kiyomi Ellis, realizing that she doesn't have to put the bombs in to score a point, just lays a little dish in there and drops it right on the 4 spot.
Ellis back to the service line already. Jimmy Alturk discussing things with Quintanilla. And a very good serve from Ellis. Gets them back within 1.
Well, that's what St. Clair College has been doing. Maybe they're using this as a prep for them coming into the playoffs, but they're serving extremely tough.
Ellis this time clips the net. This time gets a second straight ace.
Kiyomi Ellis been working on that serve all season long, and she seems to be dialed in right now as they try to peak going into these quarters.
Had 16 aces coming into today. This time received well. Flat palm swing. Ellis with the dig. Scramble for the ball. Can Sinclair free ball it across just barely. Set back across for the swing. And off the flew, and out it goes for the point.
If St. Clair College has an Achilles heel, it would be that when Quintanilla's in the front court, they could swing straight down that line, and whoever's playing backcourt's got to play heads up.
That's going to bring Ricard back to the service line. Angel Ricard with a very low serve to receive. Quintanilla tosses it back across and gets the St. Clair point.
Quintanilla loves to throw that in there every now and then. She just kind of puts a little set. It's a set to the pot, and if you're not playing the proper defense to see that, that's exactly what you're going to see. That ball almost takes out our GoPro.
Quintanilla sets back up for the serve. 10 all in set 1 in this crossover matchup. That time just a touch too far in.
Quintanilla trying serving. She's serving from 1 to 5. Or sorry, 5 to 1. Tough serve.
And in turn, that's going to bring Volleyball to the service line.
Cite battling here and staying on top.
Had 165 aces entering today. Their opponent's 187. Swing from DeFlute, too long, no touch. And once again, the Coyotes lead the set by 2. Timeout coming. First Barber's Chair timeout of the match by Jimmy Alturk.
Yeah, Coach Alturk has seen enough, and he wants to talk to his girls as they head over here for this Barber's Chair timeout. We thought I might see it a little bit earlier there, Justin, but we didn't here. But he wants to get his girls on point here. They're making way too many errors going into these playdowns.
Let's take a look at the OCAA East Division standings for the regular season. Cite was 6th in that division. Your thoughts on how the east side of the OCAA turned out in 2019-20?
Well, you see a definitive spot where the teams have split in their skill levels, right from Georgian Brown Huskies to the Georgian Grizzlies, and then you have the rest, Cite Coyotes. And St. Clair College really actually did really extremely well in this crossover by getting these guys. But right now they're down. So on paper it looks like it was going to be right, but that's why we play these games out.
What do you do, or what do you expect Jimmy Alturk to adjust now from what you've seen in the first part of this matchup already?
Well, they've prepped all week long, and they've prepped themselves to get into this position, and I guarantee you they're not doing what they have prepped to do. They want to serve tough, but what's happening is you see all these unforced errors happening, and you see that sometimes with teams. They start to match each other in their skill level on that day.
Indeed. Villiers now back to serve for the Coyotes. Received well by St. Clair. Tight play up of the net. Tap back across by the Saints. Swinging for the long swing. Multiple players seen that coming. Leduc on the swing.
A little bit more of what we expected to see from Cite, and St. Clair College not taking the bait and let that ball go out.
Back to the service line goes Kozak. Looking to try to tie the set again. This time playing well by the Librero. Right into the block it goes. Gallison with the stop.
Gallison, she's a big block there in the front court. She gets a single there. She hones in on that middle attacker and just goes one-on-one and puts it right back in her face.
Kozak with a good serve once again. Played for the swing over top 2 blockers, that time from Mayville. Swing back from St. Clair, gets the point. Horse.
Nice easy set going out the Horse. Horse doesn't even swing at it. She just pops it down. Little hand, just flick of the wrist.
Now that brings Kozak back to serve again for a 3rd straight time. Good serve. Flat-footed swing, 2 blocks from Sinclair. Back across to the Saints side. Quintanilla sets up Horst off the top of the blocks. Milling sets things up. The flute forced a free ball it back across. Bumped on forward. Over top the blocks. Diving dig by Milling. Move back to Horst. Softer touch played by the libero. Move back for the swing once again by Ricard. Quintanilla bumps it over to Flute. Gets it to the blocks. Diving dig once more. Back and forth for the rally. Quintanilla off to Horst. Again, this time too strong to get the dig.
St. Clair College honing in on their skill. They're starting to sharpen that pencil, and everything seems to be going in system on those defensive transitions, and it was just too much for La Cite.
14 serving 12. As Kozak with a top serve bounces all the way back to Milling. Quintanilla for the swing. Whistles drawn. And that point goes due to a net violation to the Coyotes.
Well, that was a forced set from Quintanilla, and Gianna had run out of space on the net and hit the net.
This time back to serve Mayville once more for the Coyotes. Strong float serve. All the way back, rolling off of Quintanilla. Quintanilla resets to Flute. Diving pancake dig. They can't get the second volley, however.
DeVlute and Gallison at the front court, that's where a lot of those points are scored. And just like that, Kiyomi Ellis jumps into the front court. Just to let La Cite, there's tons of weapons here from St. Clair College.
This time a good serve from Gallison. Tap back across by DeVlute. Reset once more. Played once again by Kozak. Moved along for the swing. Horse off from the barrel and down the line for the point.
Lots of offense coming here from St. Clair College. Quintanilla pushes out to the right side, and there's Horst, that new addition, coming in right after the winter break and just changed this team and made them one of the contenders instantly as they take that barber's chair timeout.
First one used by the Coyotes on the matchup today. And that is after, mind you, leading in this set. Let's take a look at how the West Division turned out. St. Clair came home in third and had the chance in their last few matchups in the regular season to play spoiler to many of those top teams, including some upsets.
Well, about halfway through here, Justin, when we were looking at the standings, it was anybody's game. There wasn't really one standout team other than Fanshawe, but then St. Clair College was the team that beat them. So top to bottom, other than maybe from Conestoga. Conestoga is probably the best second-last team I've ever seen in this league. So it was up for grabs the whole season.
Now, Sean, what do you expect from these two teams coming out of this timeout now that St. Clair leads the set 16-13?
Well, La Cite keeps having to do what they're doing. They're playing great defense, they're battling, but what they're doing is they're shooting themselves in the foot with unforced errors. St. Clair College needs to sharpen in their defensive transitions, keep everything in system, and keep pumping them from offense.
Gallison back to the service line for the Saints. Starts off after the timeout with an ace and all the way to the glass.
Gallison was on fire when they were playing Fanshawe here and gave them their only loss of the season. And it was that young lady right there that pretty much did it on that back line.
Gallison once again will try and have a repeat, as this time a top receive. Forced to be free ball back across. Quintanilla bumps it for Ellis for the swing. In for the kill.
Kiyomi Ellis made about the first 3 touches on her at the beginning of this match, and she made errors, but she's making up for it right now, playing strong volleyball.
And St. Clair now starting to build up a run, up by 5 in the set. Their largest advantage so far. Scramble for the ball, and another reception error.
That young lady there serving right now, when she came in as a rookie, was a detriment on that back line, and she's turned her game right around, and now she's a powerhouse on that service.
Had 37 aces in the regular season, only a couple in this stretch alone. Blocked by 2 Saints, scrambled by the Coyotes, can't get it back over.
And that's a perfect example, Gellison on that back line, of actually taking skill set, honing in on it, and that was her worst part of her game, and she's worked on it so much now that she's a veteran on this team. It's probably her best asset right now.
Coach David Mann using his second and final barber's chair timeout of set number 1. I'd like to remind you, of course, in just a couple weeks' time, the LCW Women's Basketball Championship makes its way to Sinclair College. From March 6th through 8th, you can catch all the games live on WeDigital.ca from the quarterfinals all the way up to the gold medal game on Sunday afternoon. Should be a thrilling few days of action here, Sean, here at Sinclair College, especially with what we've seen from the women's basketball team this season.
Well, right there is an expression from a coach, and that's what you want to see. There's just direct information going to those ladies. He's not too excited. He's not too sad. Just letting them know what they need to do. And right now, there's really nothing they can do right now. It's at service right now is Gellison, and she's on fire.
See if the Coyotes can force a side out and retake the serve, trailing 20-13 in set 1. This time a tough reception by Sharon. Played well by Sinclair. A scramble. Quintanilla can't get to it.
Well, that put an end to that. Young lady serving right there, and that's exactly what La Cite needed, but they're only down by 6.
Brazil to the service line this time. Flat palm serve. Played off the libero, moved over to the flute for the swing. Dunk up well by the Coyotes. Forced to try and volley it across, able to do so. Setting up Horse, in for the kill.
That's a great heads-up play. Kiyomi Ellis reaching down in there and keeping this ball in system, and then the set goes out to Horse. That's beautiful volleyball right there.
That's going to bring Horse to the service line. Flat palm from the center. This time bumped along for the swing, the cross, the point. Ricard on the swing.
La Cite, if they do more of that, they'll score more points. Everything happened perfectly there, and Sinclair College just did not adjust their defense on that block.
That's going to bring Petre back to serve. Quintanilla sets up Ellis for the soft touch. Diving dig, sent off to the stands.
Well, Kiyomi Ellis is turning her game around right now. She's playing extremely well. She's a first year from Toronto, Ontario, making some waves here down in Windsor.
Back to serve once again is DeVlute. DeVlute, the strong serve, too strong. Service error makes it 16 serving 22. Leduc goes back to the line this time. Duke had 117 digs in the regular season. This time plays it off of Kozak. Kozak the swing, no touch, and out.
Well, right there, that's the kind of play you want to have. It's a little give and go. Kozak back to Quintanilla, but then Kozak puts it long and deep out the back door.
Duke once again, this time aiming for Kozak, and this time a reception error all the way to the Sinclair bench. And sometimes when it comes to volleyball here, Sean, sometimes you target a player. Seems like they're starting to target Kozak on the stretch.
That's exactly what they're doing. They want to force her to make a lot more errors. I'm surprised they go right after her again.
This time bumps it up to Quintanilla. Back to Kozak for the swing. Dunk from the back row. Volleyed back across to St. Clair. Quintanilla, the pass to Ellis. Tapping off the top of the tape. Reset by the Coyotes, coming off for the soft touch. Too soft from Leduc.
Another unforced error from La Cite, and as long as they keep putting that ball back at St. Clair, they seem to be making the errors to give them the points they need.
This time, all the way back to serve will be Ellis. Ellis trying to paint the back line too strong, just about a foot too long.
St. Clair College still serving tough, keeping La Cite in this game.
That's going to bring Ricard back to serve this time. Once again, aiming straight for Kozak. Kozak sets up with the C ball, crossed across the court. Toss back across, Saints ready for it. They tossed it back across as well. Move back for the C ball, straight into the net. Possible set point coming up. 24 serving 19. Quintanilla with a chance to win the first set here. The right hand serve played off the libero in Sharon. Strong swing played by Milling on the dig. Quintanilla to Kozak for the point. Did they get the touch? No, they did not. Out it goes. 20 serving 24.
St. Clair College going to have another opportunity to win this first set with their second set point.
This time, it is Belior. Clipping the net. St. Clair able to just get it. Tight play up the net. Picked up back again by Milling. Move for the C ball. The flute on the swing. Reset by the Coyotes. C ball right on back for the Milling dig. Quintanilla to the tight play. Move back for the reset. Quintanilla to Kozak. Kozak straight to the block. Quintanilla once again. This time to Horst. The soft touch. Done quickly once again by the Coyotes. Blocked again by St. Clair. Reset blocked by Kozak. Once again tossed over Kozak. Milling to Kozak again. Over top the blocker. St. Clair wins the first set. 25-20.
St. Clair College winning that point just on attrition alone. Lots of volleyball happening there. What we call a lot of junk happening there, mixing things up, and St. Clair College did what they had to do.
After one set of play, St. Clair leads 1-0. We'll be back with more after these messages. You're watching We Digital Productions from St. Clair College's Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario.
Mont's On Time Express has all of your delivery needs covered with a fleet of 50 vehicles, including cargo and sprinter vans, along with 24-foot straight trucks. It doesn't matter if the freight is big or small. Mont's On Time Express can guarantee safe and prompt delivery service throughout Canada and the United States. Licensed to broker freight throughout North America, Mont's On Time Express features same-day delivery service, along with a state-of-the-art dispatching system and live GPS tracking assistance. Mont's is fully insured and Canadian bonded and has certifications with FAST, Cite, PIP, and SmartWay. Mont's On Time Express is open 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. To get your delivery moving, contact Mont's On Time Express at www.montsontime.ca or call toll-free at 877-250-8282.
Here, it's about you, your passion, your skills, stepping up to the challenge. It's here where we rise above, soar to our full potential, and where we become work ready. St. Clair College, it's time to take flight. Rise above the ordinary.
Are you passionate about a particular sport? Would you like to combine it with your education? Are you thinking about a career in one of the many rewarding construction-related trades? Do you love subjects like science, technology, engineering, or math? Take a look at the academies of the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board. You'll be glad you did. And years from now, you'll look back on your high school days as the best times of your life. The academies of the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board. We're with you all the way.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of OCAA Women's Volleyball. I'm Justin Prince alongside me, Sean Leopard in the Mont's On Time Express broadcast booth. Sean, your thoughts after that first set where St. Clair came up on top 25-20?
Well, it wasn't that they rolled over La Cite. La Cite was playing really good defense. And at the beginning, St. Clair College was making a lot of errors. So you add those two things together, that's going to give you a better score for La Cite. But unfortunately for La Cite, St. Clair College started to really maneuver. They started to adjust, and a lot of their defensive transitions were in system, and they could just like take pock shots at all their offense.
So what would you tell St. Clair at this point if you were on their side to try and make sure they limit the errors, especially with 6 total service errors as well as a plethora of attack errors?
Well, they really don't want to change anything with their game. Right now, La Cite is making a lot of those unforced errors, so what you'll expect to see is they're going to keep serving tough, and they're going to be working on what they need to get done as they progress further into the playoffs.
Indeed, we're about to get back underway for set number 2. St. Clair started the serving with the match. La Cite will serve from right side to left. St. Clair from left side to right. The player who will begin us off will be Belior. Belior from the right side of the Coyotes court. Gets us back and away for set number 2 with the service error.
Well, that's not how you want to start any game, and La Cite just did exactly what I said they can't do, was start with unforced errors.
This time it'll be Kozak back to serve. Kozak very active in that first set. This time hit straight to libero. The swing, right-handed, played by Milling. Quintanilla sets up Kozak, dunk from the back row. Move back for the pipe ball up the middle and the softer touch. Milling play to Quintanilla, back to Horst. Horst gets it down for the kill on the cross.
Well, right now Quintanilla is spreading out her offense. I mean, you would expect her to go to Horst right after that first one, but she didn't. She went to Kozak, but she definitely did it on the second rotation there and hit Horst.
Kozak this time serves it directly off of Leduc. Tight play up towards the net. The block works for the point.
Horst and Gellison in that front court, that's about as big as a block you're going to get in the OCAA. Not very good setter's choice there for La Cite.
Sinclair off to a 3-0 run to start the set. Kozak this time grazes off of Petre for the ace.
Melissa Petrin just kind of sat in there. She made things worse by just kind of sticking her arm out, and that is not going to put up any ball.
Reset once again for Sinclair. Serve number 5 leads to a service error. First point of the set for the Coyotes.
Well, St. Clair College is not adjusting any of their serves. They are serving tough. They're going to serve like that right to the finals if they can get there.
Mayville now sets up for her first serve of the set. Hit well this time, played off the back row. Hit back across by St. Clair. Mayu that time on the tap. The swing goes across, too long for Leduc, no touch.
Unforced error, long out the back door. St. Clair College chose to let it go. You'll see this, the pass is on the run. Still a little bit in system. Set was a little off, and then no snap on the ball.
Back to the service line, Gellison, top serve, received by the Coyotes, blocked once more. Reset once again by La Cite, volley back across to Mayu. Pass back, the swing by Horst, just out of the reach of the pancake.
Well, Mayu's now playing in the front court there with Kiyomi Ellis. And you'll see here on that replay, here's 2 rookies in the front court in a play down. Quintanilla on this set chooses to go to Horst. And she does exactly what she's been doing all season long.
Already the first Bombers cheer timeout of the set coming from the Coyotes, wanting to discuss things here. 6-1 in set number 2 already. This is how the stat line was in that first set. And as you can see, the kill ratio went St. Clair's way, but the errors, St. Clair actually had more of them than the Coyotes on the stat sheet.
Well, you'll see that happen a lot, Justin, especially on the service, but that ratio tells you right there, you have 6 errors for 4 aces. You'll take that all day long because that's going to give you a really good advantage. Any good team out there would like to be about 500 on that.
I'm curious to see what the Coyotes do to try and adjust. They had that good start to the first set. Then St. Clair bounced back. That was that stretch at the start of the set where the Coyotes at one point had 6 kills.
Well, right now, La Cite does not have a block, and that is not going to help you out when you got offensive weapons like Shalana Horst or Kiyomi Ellis or Gellison, anyone. You pick it. Pick your flavor from St. Clair College. If you don't have a block, you're not going to have a good day.
Well, the tallest player for La Cite is 5'10".
That's a stretch.
As back underway we go for the Coyotes. This time over top the blockers they go. Quintanilla sets up Mayu for the cross, too long.
Mayu probably trying to do a little bit too much there. She knew she wanted to do the cross. She had 2 blockers on her, but she just did a little bit too much.
It's talked about with the potential of adjustments. DeFlute is the player that Mayu is in for at the moment in this set. This time, Mayu gets it off the top of the blockers and down.
Well, Quintanilla not really paying any mind that Mayu is a first-year player, and that's what I love about this St. Clair College team. It does not matter to them. They just run their offense, and they've done the training all season long as we get this substitution coming in.
A couple of them, in fact. Riley Davis and Tiene Stephenson, both into the matchup for St. Clair. Davis to the service line. Davis on the season had 12 aces. Stephenson led the team at one point in total attacks, 221 total, 85 kills. This time the serve goes to Lawn for the service error. No substitution back after that play.
Well, Gianna Stephenson's in that court. We haven't seen her all season long, Justin. It's be interesting to see if Quintanilla sets her.
Good serve from the Coyotes. Did try to set her up. Stephenson bumped it across. Move back up middle. Move back for the scramble. Bumped over to Mayu for the swing. Trying to go for the cross. Played off the Ribeiro. Reset once again. Tight play at the net. Draws the whistle. This time against the Coyotes. Net violation.
Yeah, it looks like Angel Ricard doing a little fishing there, getting tied up into that net. But this is the first time we've seen Tiene Stephenson in the front court all season long here since the break.
Yeah, it's been a long while, in fact. We've seen Stephenson play just 10 matches in the regular season, 29 total sets. This time, Mayo, a strong serve, scrambled by the Coyotes, forced a free ball back across. Received by Stephenson, the pass, the swing, the point for Ellis.
This is a big front court. This is St. Clair College letting everybody know that Tiene Stephenson's here, and everybody knows she's sitting there. But what does Davis do? She sets the rookies.
That's going to bring Mayu to the service line. Had 21 aces in 2019-20's regular season. The cross to Libero, the bounce back to Kozak. Reset once more, the swing right off of Stephenson. This time goes over top the blockers. Bump set for Stephenson. Swings it straight into the top of the net for the Coyotes' point.
Well, that's the first swing we've seen her play in a game since the winter break. And Justin, you already said she's only had 10 matches all season long. Last year, she was an all-star.
Yeah, is one of the main players in terms of St. Clair's offense. This is big. Bumped over to Kozak, meanwhile. Dunk in the back by Ledoux. Move back over for the pipe ball. Picked up by Mayu. Pass back over to Kozak for the swing. Just gets it down the back line.
What we're starting to see is Cite is actually playing some good volleyball here. They're not making those errors. They're getting lots of big swings. But St. Clair College is transitioning out extremely well.
Absolutely. Ellis, meanwhile, serves it straight to the net. And the point goes back to Coyotes, 5 serving 10 in set number 2.
I would expect to see Davis setting Stephenson here to get her motivated in this game.
Ricard this time to serve. And straight to the pancake reception. Stephenson hits it back across with a softer touch. Move back for the C ball. Diving dig by Milling. Moved over to Kozak for the strong swing for the point.
Wow. Right there, Kozak unloaded. You saw her wind up on this shot and just unloads it.
Too much momentum for Ledoux to try and get that low dig. And in turn, brings Stephenson to the service line. Had 11 aces. The last we've seen of her in those 10 matches. Good serve, good swing. Too strong, however. Mayville with the attack error.
Milling letting that go over top of her shoulder as it goes out of the bounds into the stands, and Stephenson with her second serve.
Stephenson sets things up. 3 Coyotes set up in the middle row. And this time, sails too far towards the stands.
That young lady starting to warm up her game. She's got to get those bugs out of her system. This is a big deal for St. Clair College having her come in, and the rest of the league is going to know it.
Blair that time on the serve. Set back up for the swing. Gellison with the point.
Gellison just running a nice, easy little 30 and just snaps her wrist. And you kids watching at home, it's not about the power. It's just about the placement. She swings it across her body.
That brings St. Clair's Kozak back to serve again. This time played off the barrel. Bumped over Petray. Did she get it in? They say it is off the St. Clair touch.
I would think that was the proper call on that. And Looks like Coach L. Turk is going to call a timeout here. He's seen enough.
Barbara's cheer timeout, the first of the set called by Sinclair. And interested to see what he'd be discussing here. Is still a decent advantage here. Like to remind you, of course, that We Digital Productions has a brand new show called The Saint Sports Show, where Amelia Oliverio from the women's volleyball squad will be the first player that will be spoken to. You can catch that on WeDigital.ca. Oliverio spoke with her mother before this game. Seemed very happy before today's matchup here.
I'm watching these young ladies here. Something different happening here with St. Clair College. Normally the players would go right to the bench, and right now Coach L. Turk has told them not, and he's being very precise in how he's communicating to his players. And I would imagine what he's trying to do is let them know. To be honest with you, Justin, he's just probably telling them to settle down. He's starting to see things that they've never done all season long, or maybe something they did not prepare for all week long, and he sees them happening right in this game, and he didn't even let them sit down. He just wanted to say something at that particular time and got it out. Very few times you'll see a coach call timeout with a lead like that.
Might have been thinking, want to keep the focus to try and keep this up.
He didn't like seeing something out there.
And a service error right out of the timeout makes it 14-7 in the set. Back with another substitution, it is Lexi Stort, the first-year player from Windsor, back to the service line, this time for the Saints. This time played well, setting things up for the very deep swing, too long from Mayville.
Another unforced error from Cite, helping St. Clair College out in their run here in the second set. They're up by 8 now.
Lexi Stort played 7 matches, 12 sets in the regular season, 3 aces. This time played tight. Swing across LeDuc. Called for the St. Clair point.
Well, LeDuc trying her best to find a way around Davis and Kiyomi Ellis here. So the ball just goes up and that block goes in, and she just ran out of space.
Once again, the serve is Stort off the libero in Sharon. Push forward, Ellis over to Davis. The swing by Ellis off the top of the blockers. Cody set up once again. Across into 2 more blockers. Scramble for the ball. St. Clair point once again.
Kiyomi Ellis is having the game of her life here. That first year from Toronto, Ontario. She had a little give and go earlier before this place happened, and she finishes it off with that block. She is having an extremely good front row here.
Stort once again serves it. This time again down the line. Swing by LeDuc. Blocked again for the St. Clair point. 18-7. St. Clair's largest lead in any set so far.
Watch the block and the skill set on Davis here. She gets it, touches it, and pushes it back to the pot. That's exactly what you want to see happen every single time on a block.
Stort this time a bit more of a float. Forced to be quickly hit back across. Swing by Mayu. Another strong spike across.
This is an extremely unfortunate circumstance for Cite because there's 2 rookies in the front court. You would expect maybe they might cow down in the playoffs. That is not happening. These rookies are on fire.
19 serving 7 in set number 2 on We Digital Productions. That one clipping the net. Once again, LeDuc, this time over the blockers. Set by Davis. The swing, Mayu once again off the touch of the Coyotes again.
That young lady from Belle River, Ontario, just swinging away. She doesn't care who's in front of her. She just wants to score that ball.
Second Barber's cheer time out of the set used by the Coyotes, as the lead is now up to 13 in set number 2. St. Clair with all the momentum in this set at the moment, Sean.
Well, that's a different look for these players as they go to that bench than that last time out.
And this is a different look as well for the Fratmen, because just announced this week, the St. Clair Fratmen will now be getting ready for OFC football coming this August on We Digital Productions. Have to give credit to Dan Janice for the picture for the Windsor Star, but a huge, huge acquisition by Sinclair College for the football program.
Well, the OCAA now has a football team in the program. They won't be playing any other teams from the OCAA, but they'll be playing down here in Windsor.
Yeah, that was something that is huge, and something I know that a lot of the staff members, a part of the fratmen, are happy to see the development of. We'll also see them play essentially at the college in the near future as well, a part of all that.
The fratmen are a staple down here in Windsor, Ontario. I mean, there's been fratmen all the way back to the 70s.
And now, Stewart looks to try and bring the score more into the 20s. Coyotes, free ball back across. Moved over to Ellis for the swing again down the line. Another Sinclair point. This rally is getting unstoppable.
Well, Riley Davis just putting the sets on the money. She's really spreading out her offense to Mayu and Ellis. That front court right there is doing some damage.
21-7 in the second set. More of a loft this time. Swing once again, LeDuc, scramble by Sinclair. Pushed over to Mayu, can't get it over the tape. And finally the Coyotes break up the run.
Well, Mayo seems to be one of those players, as long as she's moving into a system or she's gotten that approach, she seems to be on fire. But when she has to think about it a little bit, she makes a little bit of an error. But that's what happens with rookies.
She did get 46 kills in the regular season, but 24 attacking errors. Swing by Mayu, gets another kill for the Saints.
She went across the body right there, had no middle block in her way, and made them pay for it. Set goes out, no middle block, and defense couldn't get it up.
This time back to serve will be Davis. 12 aces in 2019-20. Hit well this time to the Coyotes. Sent it once again, LeDuc. Sinclair sets up Davis, over to Stephenson. Too long, no touch. Coyotes point.
Well, Stephenson hasn't been anything special in this set as she gets thrown out there for the first time. She's actually has 3 errors, but we'll see how she progresses in this playoff.
Flat palm serve straight into the net that time by Betray. That gives serve back over to Sinclair. This time to the line goes Mayu. Already the Coyotes shuffling a bit more to the right side of their end. And the middle row received from right center. Pass goes backwards. Picked up by Storm. Cross play to Kozak. In for the kill.
Kozak goes straight down the line.
Really, in part, that was set up after the bad pass. It looked like it was trying to go for the cross for the Coyote side.
Davis not having any problems setting from the 2 all the way out to the 4.
Mayo, meanwhile, with a strong serve to the back row. Possible set point. Mayu on the dig. Davis, the swing. Ellis with the kill.
That's one excited crowd right there. And as those ladies go to that back line, Kiyomi, Ellis, and Mayu pretty much did all the damage in that front court during that whole second set. Great game from St. Clair College.
St. Clair wins the second set 25-9. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more OCAA women's volleyball action. You're watching We Did Her Productions from Windsor, Ontario.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect. I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Hello, Herman Moore here, running down the field and catching touchdowns. Hey, Herman Moore here, Detroit Lions legend and 4-time Pro Bowl player. Hey, get your tickets and join me for the 15th Annual Westby Awards on Tuesday, March 10th at the Caboto Club.
The 15th Annual Westby Awards are brought to you in part by Unifor Local 444, Lucier Glove and Safety, Hotham Building Materials, AM 800 CKLW, and We Digital Productions.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of OCAA playoff volleyball between the Cite Coyotes and the Sinclair Saints. Saints lead 2-0. Justin Prince alongside Sean Lippert in the Monson Time Express broadcast booth. So far, Sinclair looking strong and feeling pumped up and feeling in good spirits. And not just because Kimberly Quintanilla was wished happy birthday by the whole stadium just moments ago.
Well, right now, I could say the whole story would be that birthday, but it's not. What it is that number 2 is on the floor, Tiene Stephenson. She was an all-star last year. We haven't seen her since before Christmas, and now she's made an introduction here going into the playoffs to let the OCAA know that she's back.
And she'll start on the floor for this set, as well as Oliviero also on the floor for Sinclair. However, the Saints start with a service error. Coyotes lead the set 1-0. Back to the service line this time to begin the serving game is Volleyball once again for the Coyotes. Played by Milling. Davis over the swing. Gallison close. Reset back of the net. The quick swing clips the top. Gets around for the Coyotes point.
Well, right there, you see a little error happening from St. Clair College. Tiene Stephenson is supposed to be playing right side, so they didn't switch out. Oliverio's out there with Gallison, so they went right, tried to go right after her, but Stephenson should be there for that block.
Already a 2-point swing to start the set for the Coyotes. Swung back across. Davis over the swing. Oliviero played once again. Push back across. Milling to Davis. To Oliverio, off the block for the tool.
That's the spot that Oliverio wants to swing from, and you want to have her there so Stephenson can play that right side. You can get that outlet. That's what didn't happen on that first rotation. So Davis pushes it out to Oliverio, and she tries to pop it through, and she gets the tool.
Oliverio back to serve 19 aces in the regular season. Played well once again by the Coyotes on the serve receive. Swing back across, too long for the attack error.
A little too much there on that offense. La Cite, all they really got to do is just keep it in play, let St. Clair College make some of those errors that they've been prone to, but you know, they're up 2-0 here in this playdown.
Oliverio once again with the serve straight into the net.
This is the third set, Justin, and we've seen 3 different rotations here for St. Clair College.
Indeed, they're trying, it looks like, to give a lot of different players experience here, especially this type of matchup. Diving reception, move back across to the Coyotes. Push over for the strong swing, the dig by Davis. Hit over back across to Stephenson for the kill. Her first one back.
And that's an excited team because they know that's her first kill in a game since before the winter break, and that's the Gianna Stephenson that we remembered before she went on that injury.
That will bring Gallison to the service line. Tied at 3 a set on We Digital Productions in the third set. Sinclair leads 2-0. Over across, once again over top the blocks. Near misplay is misplayed. Good swing across by LeDuc to cause the mayhem.
Well, La Cite just needs to do more of that. Get that ball in play. Don't make the unforced error because St. Clair College has a different look on the floor. They're going to make more errors. Just let them do it.
Brazil on the swing. The tight pass. Ellis with the softer touch. Move back across for the Ellis kill.
Kiyomi Ellis is turning into one of my favorite players here in the OCAA. a first year and she is playing like she's been here for years. You give her an overpass, that's exactly what she's going to do.
That brings Stephenson to the service line. Already the Saints front line communicating their game plan for this serve. Stephenson this time plays it off of Leduc. Blocked by Ellis, diving play, sends the ball to the scorer's table. 5 serving 4.
Kiyomi Ellis in that front position, not really setting up a proper block on that, and that's what happens.
That brings Betray to the service line. Very low trajectory for the ace.
That is a tough serve. It doesn't matter who's trying to receive that. That was low and that was flat.
She's been going with those flat palm serves all match long. Goes back with it, this time way too long for the service error.
Well, right there, she tried to change it up. That would be a volleyball change up, no different than in a pitch. She went flat, and then she tried to go a little bit long, try to keep St. Clair College on their heels.
That brings Horst to the service line this time. Bounces its way all the way off the official stand to tie it back up at 6.
Shank pass from La Cite, tough serve from Horst.
Horst once again sets up for the flat palm. Played well this time. Free back across. Davis over the swing for the strong stop.
That's a heads-up set from Davis. Kiyomi Ellis running that slide to the right and pulls the blocker with her. You'll see it here. The ball's going to come over. They're going to get the free ball. Watch Kiyomi Ellis throw the middle blocker over to her so there's a single block on the other side. Beautiful volleyball.
Cross shot, meanwhile, for the Coyotes in live action. Ellis straight to the blockers. Davis can't get the one-handed dig.
Single block that time. Davis keeping La Cite honest and setting Kiyomi Ellis on that right side slide. And she was going to get a single block as the middle blocker bit on Oliverio that time.
Leduc this time back to the service line. Stephenson sets up in the back row. Davis over to Oliverio. Diving dig out of the reach. Oliverio again with the kill.
Real tight set from Davis. Oliverio really had no option. Made it work.
Ellis will now set up from the left side of the Saints' part of the court. And goes right by the Coyotes for the ace.
They didn't even make an attempt, Justin, on that ball. That ball was a rocket. Kiyomi Ellis getting that ace.
St. Clair looking to try and build a run. Received well by LaRue that time. Bounced on over. One-handed attempt to get it across. Not enough time.
A little scramble from St. Clair College. But La Cite playing some tough defense here.
Once again, it is Ricard back to serve. Played this time by Horst. Oliverio off the side of a Coyote for the point.
St. Clair College, it doesn't seem to matter who they have on that floor. They're just firing at all cylinders. Oliverio comes in the third set. Big high set from Davis, and it goes over there. And then we're going to see a substitution here.
Quintanilla back into the matchup.
Well, this is what they call the double sub. In order to do this, that means they'll have 3 attackers, and Quintanilla goes to the back court, so they have another 3 attackers on this option.
Yeah, Stephenson also made the same step towards the sideline here, Sean. Swing goes for the cross. Quintanilla sets things up right to the blocks. Scramble. Back over for the tight play for the diving dig. Reset once again. This time hit across by Leduc. And too long for the point for St. Clair.
Well, right now, Coach L. Turk throws in all kinds of new players, and on the floor is Jen Taylor. She's swinging right side.
Indeed, the Saudi Ontario native. Quintanilla on the serve. Bump back for the free ball. Quintanilla sets up Oliverio off the top of 2 Coyotes for another St. Clair point.
If La Cite keeps throwing over these easy balls, St. Clair College is going to keep them all in system, and they're just going to unload.
Quintanilla looks to unload a strong serve again. This time played by Leduc. Moved into 2 Saints blockers. Reset by Quintanilla. Sets up Horst for the strong swing.
And they're going to call the Horst on the back line attack. She stepped on the 3-meter line, and that is not allowed.
Yep, that's that green line I believe you're referring to right there just in front of the Saints logos.
Anytime a back row attacker steps on that line, it's illegal on the attack.
Indeed. Yard that time on the serve. Milling. Over to Taylor. Off the top of a couple blockers. The pass, the swing, played by Horst again. Quintanilla. Over to Oliverio. Towards the back line. Able to get the kill again.
Oliverio swinging hard. She just gets up there and just gives it everything she's got, and she put it right down that little spot they gave her between the arm and the pin.
They'll send her back to the service line once again. Jump serve, played by Leduc. Knocked back down by Taylor for the point.
St. Clair College starting to run away with things here, but we'll see here in the replay that's an overpass, and Jen Taylor just puts it down, and we head into the Barber's Chair timeout.
First one caught by the Coyotes in the set, trailing 14-9. In this third set, down 2-0. This is the stat line after two sets. And you can see a massive discrepancy between the kills, for example.
Well, just not only that, you got 23 kills here for St. Clair College, but then you can see in that aces and servers error, I said you mentioned about 500.
Yeah.
You keep at 500, that's going to do really well. You add those two stats, and then you see there's only not even one block from La Cite. That's going to be a bad day for any team.
And that in turn is part what we've seen with the major score advantage in the second set. We're starting to see again in this third set. What do you think Coach Mann is telling his team at this point?
Well, right now they know they're facing a very tough team in St. Clair College. This St. Clair College team is one of the teams that could potentially win the entire thing, and they're doing their best. I mean, they started off really well. They came out and they battled, but it doesn't matter sometimes, and so they're going to have to really test St. Clair College. They got to keep Quintanilla out of system, because when she's set in system, St. Clair College is going to score pretty much every time.
Oliverio looks to try and start off to the timeout with a good serve, able to do so there, and a whistle blown once again. St. Clair point for the double touch.
Well, that pass is a little too tight for that setter, and that got the double touch on that set.
Bit of a scatter plot formation from the Coyotes for this serve. This time clips the net for the ace.
Everything seems to be going in St. Clair College's favor now, including those little let serves. Oliverio playing extremely good volleyball.
Oliverio once again tries to keep this run going and breaks up the run with the service error. 10 serving 16. Back to the line this time will be Mayville. Mayville so far on the match, one service error. This time a tough serve. Quintanilla to Horst for the strong swing off the top of a blocker.
Those right side swingers like Horst gets one on this serve receive, and they make it count. So there's the pass for Milling to Quintanilla. Quintanilla just loads it up to her, and she just kind of swings it down the line. And now you can see there where we had some substitutions coming into the game.
Gallison out, Lexi Storn in, and remember, it was a massive run for St. Clair when she went to the service line in the second set. This time served well. Over top the blockers it goes. Pass from Taylor to Horst. Strong swing dunk from the back row. Reset once again, pushed over and across. Heads up play by Petray to get the point.
Well, when you don't have that set, you just got to find a spot on the floor, and that one worked for her. Heads up play, just drops it in over top of that block.
That will bring Brazil back to serve for a second stint, and it ends quickly with the service error.
Slowly, La Cite is running out of room here with all these errors. Their season depends on it now.
Back to the line goes Taylor this time. Taylor, lower trajectory, bounces around, setting up for the C ball. Strong play off of Oliverio, tight play at the net. St. Clair can't get it across.
Coach Turk has Horst in the front court here with Kiyomi Ellis, and she's playing on the left side, and she's been playing on the right side for the entire game.
See how this time it goes. Well, they'll watch a service error to give the point to St. Clair. Still a 7-point advantage. Bombers cheer timeout called, the second of the set by the Coyotes.
Well, I can tell you right now, whoever's the team that is going to be playing St. Clair College next week in that first quarterfinal, if they pull this game off, is not going to know how to set themselves up, because we've seen 3 different teams from St. Clair College on this floor, and now we're starting to see them play in different positions.
Yeah, all sorts of different lineup arrangements we haven't really seen. And mind you, too, the women's team is getting ready for their own championship here in this building in just a couple weeks. The basketball squads for the women's basketball championship. That starts on March the 6th through to March the 8th. You can catch all those games on We Digital Productions. Again, playoff action getting underway across the OCAA this weekend. It's been some fun action, especially for the fans here for this women's volleyball matchup. Just a few points away from seeing a straight set victory if they can hold on.
Lots of excited fans here. Got some Kimberly Quintanilla fans there celebrating her 22nd birthday, and what a way to celebrate it as they go and have the opportunity to continue on their season here.
Horst back to the service line this time. Flat palm serve. Played well off the libero. Hit back across to Stewart. Quintanilla sets up Ellis. Clipping the top of blockers. No, they say no touch.
Kiyomi Ellis swinging hard right there.
Trying to go for that cross instead. That's going to bring Leduc to the service line again. Flat palm serve. Played by Ellis. Scramble by St. Clair.
Well, that's a rookie mistake from Ellis. Never do you ever want to see a middle blocker on a serve receive touch a pass.
I think no one on St. Clair was expecting that. It almost thought it was going behind her to the next player behind. And this time, a miscommunication again. 2 different players try and go for it.
Well, that's because La Cite is serving extremely tough here. If they do more of this, they might be able to pull this one off.
Leduc looks to keep the rally together. This time,
Another
Horst shakes it off to the stands.
You can expect a timeout coming soon here from St. Clair College. That's 3 in a row. La Cite serving tough.
Some focused looks from the St. Clair bench to our right. This one overpassed. Quintanilla. Tight play. Scrambled by the Coyotes. Free back across to Taylor. Quintanilla and her tight pass. Oliveiro this time played to the back. Bouncing back to Ellis. Pass back. Hit back across for a second free this rally. Over to Oliveiro, forced to free ball it back across for St. Clair. Swing into 2 blockers. Dive by Taylor. Push back across by Ellis. Move back for the swing by Leduc. Too low, out of the reach of Horst for the point.
La Cite warming up right now. They're playing extremely good volleyball. St. Clair College struggling on this serve receive. But right now, La Cite is like playing a brick wall.
And Coach Turk not using the Bombers' chair timeout. Scramble as St. Clair forced a free ball it across. Pass set across for the play. Picked up by St. Clair again. Oliverio strained to 2 blocks. Horst collides with Taylor. Swing for Oliverio again. This time way too strong for the libero. Scramble across. Still out of the reach regardless.
Well, that was a big break for St. Clair College because La Cite had their number on that rotation and scored 5 points to keep them in this game. And we got a substitution happening here.
Gellison back into the matchup now for Stewart. Brings size again to the front line. Back to serve is Ellis. 20 serving 17 in set 3. Tough serve, tight pass. Picked up by Taylor. Quintanilla off to Gellison for the kill.
Gallison running that middle. Didn't have much of a block on this, so there's that pass in system. Quintanilla doesn't have to move and just feeds her. Goes OT.
Alice again to serve, this time into the net for the service error.
That young lady right there had a great game, made a couple kind of dumb errors right near the end there.
And for the first time today, a substitution by Cite. They had a short bench.
Well, they only had one person on the bench.
Yeah, and that's the one player they're bringing in as a serve substitution. Their second libero, Joera Pierre. Served well. Over the swing.
Oh!
Oliverio for the strong kill.
Oliverio unloading a howitzer. Almost took someone's head off. There's that shot. Milling keeps it tight to the net. Quintanilla just throws up a little modified set.
And that brings Quintanilla back to serve. Strong serve. Played well again by the Coyotes. Free ball back across. Quintanilla sets up. Gallison gets to the block. Reset for the free ball. Oliverio to Quintanilla. Pass back over to Taylor for the soft touch. Down the line for the point.
Jen Taylor stepping up right there on that right side. She took out Stephenson and making a play here to say that she wants to start here on that right side because she placed that ball perfectly.
2 points away from match victory. Coyotes looking to try and get a run together. They get an attack error. Possible match point coming up.
Well, this could be the end of La Cite's season right now, and St. Clair College moving on to the quarterfinals to make their OCAA run. The birthday girl.
Quintanilla, strong serve. Move back across by Cite. Quintanilla sets up Gallison, gets the kill. The St. Clair Saints win in straight sets. 25-20, 25-9, 25-18, the final.
That was a solid game from St. Clair College. They're moving on to the quarterfinals. But what we saw out of this game, Justin, is that Coach L. Turk didn't give anybody any option of how they're going to set themselves up for that final or that quarterfinal run, because we saw 3 different looks. We saw players playing in different positions. We saw Tiene Stephenson seeing the court for the first time since, was it November of last year? I mean, this team could definitely win the OCAAs.
Post-game coverage coming up after these messages. You're watching We Digital Productions live from the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario.
Mont's On Time Express has all of your delivery needs covered with a fleet of 50 vehicles, including cargo and sprinter vans, along with 24-foot straight trucks. It doesn't matter if the freight is big or small. Mont's On Time Express can guarantee safe and prompt delivery service throughout Canada and the United States. Licensed to broker freight throughout North America, Mont's On Time Express features same-day delivery service, along with a state-of-the-art dispatching system and live GPS tracking assistance. Mont's is fully insured and Canadian bonded and has certifications with FAST, CTAT, PIP, and SmartWay. Mont's On Time Express is open 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. To get your delivery moving, contact Mont's On Time Express at www.montsontime.ca or call toll-free at 877-250-8282.
Here, it's about you. Your passion, your skills, stepping up to the challenge. It's here where we rise above, soar to our full potential, and where we become work ready. St. Clair College, it's time to take flight. Rise above the ordinary.
And welcome back here to St. Clair College, where we have the St. Clair College Saints take care of business against La Cite in the play down. Beat the girls 3-0. Scores were 25-20, 25-9, and 25-18. I'm here with Coach L. Turk. Coach L. Turk, did it go the way that you thought it was going to go?
Yes and no. I definitely thought that they would put up a tough fight. You know, they're coming from so far away. They have nothing to lose. And so they have, like, I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm sorry, man.
It's all good.
No, let me answer your question. I thought that we would be inconsistent. I thought we'd have some nerves. We got some first-year athletes. And so I thought it would be up and down in the first set, which is what it was. I thought we'd clean it up as we went. And I wanted to get everybody in the match, too. And so, you know, sometimes when you play people that aren't used to playing with each other, the rhythm is off a little. But I thought we would win 3-0, and that's the most important thing.
Well, there was something that happened. I wanted to ask you about this. It was in the second set. The score was 13-7 for you, and you called timeout.
Yep.
Why?
We had missed 26% of our serves to that point, and I'm so afraid of talking about serving on game day because it's like having the yips when you golf, and so we try not to talk about it, but it's been a problem for the last couple of weeks, and I just told them, like, this has to stop. We got to serve to the target. We can't serve tough. We got to serve it to the target. The toughness will come, but we can't miss one of every 4 serves. They don't even side out at 50%. And so if we miss one out of every 4 serves, we make it easy for them to get to 12 when we don't want to do that. We got to put pressure on them by having to side out all the time.
Now, I saw one thing differently that I haven't seen since November of last year. Tiene Stephenson was in the game. Was that something you had planned to do, or is it something that happened to spur the moment?
No, so she's been back healthy now for 2 weeks. She was cleared for practice, and so we've been slowly working her in. She played a little bit last weekend against Sheridan, and so, you know, she's been out for 10 weeks, so being able to play 3 days, like 5 set matches in 3 days might not be possible, but if we can find ways to build her into double subs or play a whole set or something like that. So we want to give her some run with both setters and get her to get some rhythm back a little so we can have a nice weapon coming off the bench.
Well, definitely that's going to be a weapon that they could use for the playoffs. The girls' game today took care of business. They won 3-0. They're moving into the quarterfinals. Coach Alturka and myself sitting here want to welcome you for OCAA volleyball action. Just like you, I just lost my train of thought. But you've been watching volleyball here on We Digital.
Are you passionate about a particular sport? Would you like to combine